past 2 years, I have not worked a job, and I was still able to survive, pay my bills, pay my rent. I'm saying, still be able to eat good. And in this video, I'm gonna share a few things that I did to help me thrive and survive without a job. So first thing that was very reliable for me was doing Amazon Flex and doing delivery apps. Just doing that alone, I'd be making like $3,000 a month, you feel me? And that's pretty good. And then after gas and everything like that, I probably spent like $400 a month on gas. And doing delivery apps is not the only side hustle that I do. I do a lot of other things. One of the other things that I'm doing is reselling. And that side hustle is actually one of the best side hustles and one of the easiest side hustles. And the reason why I say that is because it does not require a lot of work, and it also doesn't require a lot of capital to get started. I started out with $60, and I've made about $7,000 to $8,000 already. And I started with two watches. So at first I was reselling like shoes and stuff that I could try to find at Ross, and I wasn't working very well for me. So I transitioned into selling stuff from China. So on AliExpress, Alibaba, those are the two main apps that I use. But there are a few people who use DHgate. So I stick to Alibaba. Oh yeah, Temu is another one that just started getting trending. So those products are made in China. I source suppliers from China because they make the stuff cheaper, you know what I'm saying, and ship it over to the US. Once you find you a good supplier, you can pretty much scale up pretty fast and start making good money, which is what I did. I found one good supplier that sells the watches that are like trending right now. They're a little trendy right now, and it's iStyle watches. So I keep reordering after I sell out. And at one point I was actually not even using my own money. If you guys know what Afterpay is, so basically it's an app that lets you buy stuff and then pay small payments, and it's interest free. So I got on Afterpay, and they gave me up to like $500 to spend. I spent like $300 at a time. And what I would do is get the products over to the US, sell the products, keep the profits, and whatever I sell the product for. So say for instance the watch cost me about $50. Say if I sell it for $140, I'm keeping a $100 profit and then paying $50 to Afterpay. And then after a while, you pay off Afterpay, and then you literally keep the profits and walk away with the profits. So I did that for a little while, and then now Afterpay increased my limit to like $700. And I recently haven't used them. I just been using my own money, but I do plan on going back to them and using them. I'm just trying to find more products that I can sell besides the watches. The watches was doing really good for me, and so I found some moissanite rings as well that was selling real good for me, and I sell them in person also. And yeah, on eBay, Facebook, and Mercari, and a little bit of OfferUp. OfferUp is kind of dead now, but you can still get some sales on there. So with that side hustle, bring in about $700 a month. And yeah, so that almost brings me up to almost $4,000 a month right there. Doing delivery apps, $3,000, and then with reselling $700, that's $3,700. And then there's one more side hustle that I'm doing, which is Toro, renting out your own vehicles. So at one point I had 2 vehicles on Toro, and I was actually making a little over $1,000 every month profit, because what I did was I bought used cars. And when you buy used cars, bro, everything you make is pretty much profit. You feel me? Because you ain't gotta pay monthly to a dealership. I never bought a car from the dealership because I never like wanted to make payments, and then on top of that pay interest on a car that depreciates. So the smart route was to buy a used car cash and then put it on Toro. So with one used car, you can bring in about $500 to $800 a month. On your busy months, you can bring in $700 to $800. And doing that with 2 cars, man, that payment was nice. And then one of my cars got totaled. So one of my cars, the transmission got damaged, and then came out to be a total loss. And Toro actually ended up paying me out like $7K. And then, so 2 weeks ago, I got this $7K payment, and now I'm actually working on getting a second car on Toro, so I can get back to making $1,000 a month. But yeah, so that's how I've been able to survive without a job. And recently, I have been thinking about going back to a job just to scale up Toro a lot faster. With delivery apps, it's cool, but you put in a lot of mileage on your car, gas, you know what I'm saying, and doing that like full time as a job, it just kind of sucks. That's why I'm was thinking about going back to a job. But like, I don't know what it is when I do work a job, I just like kind of slack off on the things that I want to really do in life, which is being an entrepreneur, being my own boss, you know what I'm saying, making my own money. And I really do think that job will help me scale up. So if you guys are watching this and you guys work a job, that's actually perfect, because you guys could pretty much use the funding for your job to fund your businesses, and you know what I'm saying, start creating side hustles to make passive income. Hopefully, like, so in the near future, I want to have multiple sources of income. So I left out the stock market, and the reason why I left out the stock market is because investing, you can actually make money, and it just takes time, patience, and investment of your own money. But with me, I was day trading and options trading, so I actually been losing money doing that, and I never really had money to invest. So if I did have money to invest, that could have been extra money that I could have been making on the side. But that is something that I'm gonna definitely work on, is creating, making some investments on blue chip companies like Tesla, Meta, Facebook, and then start creating a dividend portfolio as well. So just all around create multiple sources of income. That's going to be my goal. And so right now I only got like two shares of Tesla, and I got some crypto as well. So I'm going to be investing in crypto, Tesla, and try to find another blue chip company that's pretty good, which is probably going to be Meta. But yeah, so that's going to be my investment. That's going to be my investments right there that I'm going to be putting more time into, and hopefully start making money from that as well. If I don't end up going back to work, going back to a 9-to-5 or a job, my plan is to hopefully also make money from YouTube. But one thing about YouTube, it takes a while. I've had another, not this YouTube channel, but I've had another YouTube channel that I've started about 1.5 years ago, and I wasn't very consistent at the very beginning, but like towards the middle of my journey, I started getting really consistent. About 5 months ago, started getting really consistent, and I'm actually starting to see a drastic difference. Like I'm starting to see that I'm getting more subscribers, I'm getting more watch time, I'm actually getting more views now. And yeah, so I want to have multiple YouTube channels and start making money from YouTube to be able to replace a 9 to 5, because YouTube is the only thing that does not require a big investment. Everything else requires a big investment, or it's just too risky. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think YouTube is the easiest route. All you got to do to get monetized on YouTube is stay consistent and don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you are like taking the route of the lowest investment. I mean, there's some people who go all out and spend a lot of money to be able to like grow their YouTube channel faster. But all I have is 2 editing apps, and I pay about $30 a month. But that investment right there is kind of low compared to everything else. And that's why I think that YouTube is going to be the one that's probably going to pay me pretty good. And my goal for YouTube is to actually make about $2K a month. If I'm doing $1,000 on this channel and $1,000 on my other channel, that's going to be great for me. Because as long as I can make $2K a month, I'll be able to replace a job completely and then completely focus on what I want to do, lock in, which is going to be being my own boss, making my own money, and being an entrepreneur and creating multiple sources of income. So the money I'm getting from YouTube, I'm literally going to be reinvesting that money into crypto, stocks, buy a car put it on Toro, buy a car, put it on Toro, and so that's going to be my plan. So y'all subscribe to the journey. I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.